Welcome in, everyone, to the Game or Die Show. My name is Ryan Moore, and I have such a great stream plan for you tonight. We're going to be playing retro games. We're going to be playing Mario Kart because that's in the news. And oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Ryan Moore, and tonight we're going to be playing some video games, some of the retro variety. That's right. I am really excited to kind of just relax tonight. Over the course of the last few streams, we've been playing through the Metroid Prime series because that's been the game of the month. And I've been having a blast, and last night we finished it. So that was rad. I never played through and finished Metroid Prime before, and so we got to do that last night. And then we capped it off with about a 2-hour Rock Band stream afterwards. That was really fun. But man, oh man, am I just exhausted. So I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit lower key tonight, a little bit more relaxed, and yeah, just play some retro games. And so I thought to myself, you know, what could I possibly play that would just make everyone happy? Because that's what I want to do. I want to entertain, I want to make everyone happy and enjoy this stream. You know, Mario Kart is kind of in the news right now, so I figured, why not let's do that? And so no one's going to be mad about playing Mario Kart, so that's what we're going to do tonight. So I say, let's get it started, shall we? Oh, what's up, Fuzzy Pickles? How is it going? Hope you're doing well tonight. We're here, and we're ready to play some Mario Kart. Now, this is actually a series that I've been working on for the last several months. Unfortunately, because of the way life has been going, I have not had time to actually edit the videos. And it's been so long that I'm just like, I might as well just redo them. And I actually talked about this on the podcast that I recorded today. That'll probably go up tomorrow. But yeah, we're gonna play through some Mario Kart. All right, so we'll start with 100cc because at least just like kind of the bare minimum. And we got to figure out who we're going to play as. Do we want to play as Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool, none of this Peach garbage, Yoshi, King Koopa, again, none of this Bowser garbage, Donkey Kong Jr., which was a weird, odd choice for Super Nintendo. They were on the Junior kick for a while, Koopa Troopa, and Toad. I personally would either play as Mario or Yoshi or Koopa Troopa. I kind of like Koopa Troopa, so we're gonna go with him tonight. Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna start with the beginning, and just as a reminder for everyone who used to really get into the retro streams, I wanted to do and we're gonna do this, the series. We're gonna go through all of them. All right. So let's start with the Mushroom Cup. It's been a few months. I can't remember how we play this, so bear with me. There we go. All right, cool. At least I remembered which one was the accelerator. So when you're playing Mario Kart, especially back in the day with this Super Mario Kart game, I remember going, what do coins do? Like, what do coins do? And once you get 10 of them, they actually act as like an accelerator. And so you go faster if you have more coins, up to 10. 10 is the max. So when you bump into someone, you get shocked with a lightning perhaps, and run over and you lose coins, that ain't good. You want to keep at least 10 coins in your pocket at all time. Ooh, oh no. Oh, what was that? What was that garbage? Wow, that was close. Luigi is on a roll. So I have not watched the Nintendo Direct, and there was a Mario Kart Direct today, apparently. I did not watch it. I did not have time. And I'm kind of over most directs, most trailers for games. Dude, Luigi just keeps getting those superstars, and I don't like that. I'm trying to stay away from him. Look at that. That's not fair. He just continually gets it. This is my one big issue with Mario Kart is it's an extremely unfair game. Even if you do well, you are punished by doing well. That's what I hate about rubber banding in video games and Mario Kart in general is you get punished by doing good at the game. It sucks. Yeah, I heard the direct was like 15 minutes long and it really didn't tell or explain a whole lot. I also like being surprised with games. I don't want to go in pretty much knowing anything. If I already know about the game and I know I'm gonna play it, all I need to know is the date. How much is the game gonna cost, and when can I actually physically get my hands on it? Those are the two things that I care about. Other than that, I don't care what it looks like. Well, I care what it looks like, but you kind of know what I mean. I want to be surprised. I want to go in completely dark, completely blank, completely blind in those games. Oh, 100%. There's 100% going to be special little hidden things. They're not going to give away all of it. And again, that's kind of why I don't want to know everything ahead of time because I want to be surprised. I didn't get it. I've always kind of been pretty bad about the boost start. Take that shortcut though, ha ha ha, suckers. So it's the first turn is that shortcut. I remember last time I played this, I like butchered it at the very last possible moment. But yeah, I want to be surprised about these games. I want to go in blind and discover it for myself. I don't need a company telling me this is what you're gonna experience. I want to experience it myself. So a lot of game reveals, a lot of trailers, a lot of, you know, all these marketing and PR stuff that they put out, I stop paying attention once I know the game's name, the release date, and how much it's gonna cost. I'll get excited, and I'm very happy for other people that are like dripping over everything. If you remember back on the Super Smash Brothers Brawl, Super Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii, they had this whole thing called the Dojo. And this was kind of like the early YouTube era where they were releasing YouTube videos, I believe, and definitely a whole website dedicated to release information about Super Smash Brothers Brawl. And I was just like, dude, I don't want to know. Just let me play the game and let me unlock characters as I unlock them and get excited about them as I unlock them. I don't want to be, you know, anticipating, oh, if I do this, I know this character is going to show up. No, I want to be surprised by that stuff. That's me, though. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was like the slowest drip feed. Like, that was like 2 years of continual tiny updates for that game. And it was just like, this is too much. This is just too much. And I feel like they did that over and over with the other games. What was it? New Smash Brothers for Wii U / 3DS. And then what was the last one? Ultimate? I'm not a Smash Brothers fan, so I only know things that I remember from when it was coming out and what people were talking about at the time. But I never played Ultimate. I played, I think, a round of Smash Brothers for Wii U / 3DS at E3 that year it came out. I played a little bit of Brawl because I did like Subspace Emissary. And that was the only thing I liked in Brawl was Subspace Emissary. What a cool thing. And then I did play 64 for sure because that was the first one. Melee is probably the one that I've played but have the least amount of time with. I really didn't play much other than there was a mini game where you like hit the punching bag like a certain amount of distance, like that mini game. I thought that was really cool, and so I played that at my game store a few times before I owned it. But that was about it. Everything else, I'm not really a big Smash Brothers fan. back in December, so every December, since a lot of people are new to the channel within the last couple of weeks, every December I do a series called Retrocember. And Retrocember is like my celebration of old classic retro games for the entire month of December, where I will stick to like a genre or a hardware, and we'll celebrate that hardware for the entire month. And I do a post, a video, or something every day for the entire month of December, 31 days of continual content. And so this last year I did videos for Nintendo 64. So we celebrated the Nintendo 64, and I did videos of every day for Nintendo 64 games. So if you're on the YouTube side of it for Game or Die, check those out. They're called Retrocember. And it was fun. Like, there was a couple games that I played, like Star Fox 64, where I sat down and I'm like, I'm going to showcase this game for a little bit. I ended up playing through the entire game and beating it. It was really fun. But the last one for December 31st, I was just looking at the video. It was Super Smash Brothers, and I sat there and played through and beat all of Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64. That was really fun. That was the first time I did it, and probably since the game came out. Yeah, I have a weird relationship with Nintendo at this point, because I do feel like they are so family friendly, idealized, that they do forget a lot of their core demographic, or their core customer base, which grew up as kids, but now have graduated into full-blown adults with families of their own sometimes. And they're still making content for a very, very, very small demographic compared to the customer base that they actually have. So they'll sell 1 billion copies of Mario Kart or Mario. But when you get down to it, just like with the Wii, when the Wii came out, what was the big complaint about the Wii? Oh, they've forgotten the hardcore gamers. It's all kid games and shovelware, right? And I feel like that's kind of what's going on with Nintendo as of late. So when I see these directs, I'm like looking and going, okay, where's the gameplay? And it looks like a lot of that gameplay is, dang it, geared towards a very younger audience. So I always have to temper my expectations. But that being said, I'm really excited for Mario Kart. World, I believe, is the name of the game. I literally have not even looked online and watched. I didn't watch the Switch 2 Direct. I didn't watch the, I got hoisted by my own petard on that one. Go. Why? Oh, that was such a bummer. That was such a bad hit. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But I'm actually really excited about the Switch 2. I just haven't watched any of it. Mostly because I know I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna buy certain games, and I'm gonna have fun with it. So I really don't need to know anything else. When's the release date? How much is it gonna cost? What games are gonna be available on launch day? Cool, awesome, I'm sold. And that's kind of where I'm at with Nintendo right now. It sucks because there's so many hardcore fanboys. I really don't like hardcore fanboys because they spend way too much time focusing on the minutia of like these hyper specific details that don't actually matter in the long run. It's weird. It's really weird. Hey, we're doing good. We got one more race, and I think we're gonna be okay and get gold. Which one is this? It doesn't even say the name of the course. Okay, great. Just final. So let's talk about Mario Kart for a little bit. Mario Kart with this first game was awesome. It was amazing. I remember playing this with my friend David. my friend David from school would come over and we would play the multiplayer, courses and battle arenas and stuff like that, and just having a blast. I remember one day we went outside after we played Mario Kart, and then we pretended like we were in Mario Kart on our bicycles and had balloons tied to the back of our bicycles, and we tried to run over the balloons, which is a bad idea. And we just had a really good time. We had a really fun time with that. And so I've always enjoyed this series. Not dangerous if you're going fast enough and you pop the balloon with your tire and it doesn't get caught in the spokes and you don't go flipping over the handlebars. Yeah, definitely not dangerous then. But if you do, which I've had happen, not as much fun. But dude, kids are so resilient. I bounced off of so much stuff in my life and never was like actually super injured. Luckily for me. Shoot, I should have paid attention. But yeah, I was a fairly reckless kid growing up. I don't think we're gonna get first, but we got second, even though Yoshi came up right on my tail. Second, I'll take second. But man, I loved this game. It was so cool. And then when they did all the DLC, the Wave DLC for Mario Kart Deluxe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. I can't believe they got away with that. That's one thing that actually upsets me is they got away with having Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and then after the Wii U failed, they just went, we're just gonna re-release this and call it Deluxe with the DLC. And then for the next decade, we're not gonna release anything. Like, we got a whole decade without a Mario Kart game because Nintendo was so lazy that they just re-released the game instead of coming up with new ones. And I was so upset because we could have had, and with World, this is what I wanted for, in my mind, I said this last year. I wanted the new Mario Kart game to be called Mario Kart Universe and have it not only have every single track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all the waves and all the new stuff they've been adding. They should have also created every single course in every single Mario Kart game that did not get re-updated. Like they actually have some of the Super Mario Kart courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that's awesome. I love those tracks because they're really interesting to see a 3D version of them. But the fact that they just were like, here's like an open world, like the open world from the screenshots that I've seen floating around the internet. Cool, awesome, but it wrote itself. Mario Kart Universe, make it a hopper where it's just one big contained field. The open world kind of writes itself, and then have every single Mario Kart track in that game plus all the new stuff, right? You have to have new stuff. It's not like they don't have enough people to create that and enough time. They've had a decade to actually create that idea. I don't know, man. We're gonna stick with Koopa Troopa. I think we're gonna stick with Koopa Troopa. All right, Flower Cup race. Let's do it. Yeah, I think it would be a great idea. Yeah, I think the DLC hopefully will be pretty interesting. Honestly, I really dug the fact that they did all those Wave DLC courses. They added in a lot of old classic ones from all the old games, and retrofitted them for that new game. And then they also even took out made the the mobile phone version, Mario Kart Tour, those ones are really good. Some of them are actually really good. I loved, and I will say this till the day I die, one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks of all time is the Sydney one. The music in that is insane. The Sydney track, the Australia Sydney track in Tour is awesome, and they put that as one of the DLC courses, and it was good. And again, I'm not one to sit there and play Mario Kart more than once per decade, so it's awesome. And they had a couple other good ones. I think the London one was pretty decent, and a few others. The Vancouver track, yeah. Dang it, wow. Okay, I was like, what? Oh, are you kidding? I got screwed at the last second? Oh, well, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, the Vancouver track, the Sydney track, the Japan track, London. I did not like the New York one. I've never been a fan of New York stages anyways. I think New York, San Francisco, LA are all way overutilized in video games. Singapore, yeah. Is that the one where like you're bouncing up on the rooftops? I can't remember. It's been a while. It's been a few years since I played it. But man, some of those new ones that they came up with. I was going through and I was working on a series for December, not this December, last December, of my favorite Mario Kart tracks. And the Yoshi Island one, the Yoshi's Island track is phenomenal. It captures the essence of that entire game like no one's business. It is so good. Whoa! I'll take it, I'll take it. Of course, as soon as he gets close. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Did I get hit twice? This game, man. Cheater. Cheater, pumpkin eater on this game. I'll tell you. I wish I could do is one of the impressions I can't do very well is the Hank Hill, King of the Hill. I'll tell you what, like, I cannot do a Hank Hill impression to save my life. But I never really grew up with the series or anything. I never really watched it much, so it's just not ingrained into my brain like Simpsons or Futurama or anything. Oh my gosh, I am just dying tonight. Wow. Oh boy. Okay. Well, there's our first one. Ranked out. All right. It's this is definitely probably one of my least favorite tracks in the entire series. I've never liked the Ghost House tracks. I don't like the music. I don't like the fact that you can just easily fall off when you hit the bumper at it. Oh, dude, what is going on? The track itself is very narrow and very turny, and I just do not like that. What is going on with my phone? My phone's blowing up right now, and I don't want to stop looking. I'm gonna pause it. I gotta see what's going on. Hold on. I've gotten like 7 messages, and it's like 11:30 at night. These are from like yesterday. That's weird. Okay, never mind. We are not gonna give up. I thought I was getting like a message saying the stream's going down over and over or coming back up. But yeah, I'm not a fan of these tracks at all. I'm so terrible. You can see, like, I've done completely fine the entire game so far, and now I can't even get, you know, higher than 5th place. Ugh. Oh, I'm so bad at this. So it's really interesting. We had I had a really long day today. I did not think I was gonna go that long on the stream last night, but I was having fun playing Rock Band, and then I was like, do I want to? Oh boy, this is insane. I'm literally getting email messages from things that happened like 3 days ago. I'm getting notifications going live from like several streams ago. I don't know what's going on. I should just probably turn this on Do Not Disturb. Let's do that. All right, second time. What is going on? Okay, I'm gonna focus on this one. We're gonna focus. We're gonna get this done. One thing that I actually am pretty bad about with this one is the jumping and the braking. I never brake in racing games. I never use the brake, but it's actually very beneficial, especially when you get into the higher CC courses. That was close. Stay with me, Ryan. Stay with it. Why does it feel like there's so many laps this time? I can almost guarantee you on the next and final lap, I'm gonna hit my own banana that I just dropped. Guarantee it. Not because I want to, but because that's just the way it works out. Oh, good. Yeah, a little bit of letting go with the gas. There it is. So yeah, I just gotta put my mind to it. Marty, when you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. This is heavy, Doc. Man, what a great series. Like, let's just appreciate the fact that we live in a time that Back to the Future trilogy exists, and it's amazing. That series probably shaped a large part of my childhood. I could sit down and watch Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 right now and be like just the happiest boy in the world. I love that series. It is a crying shame that I'm not gonna say never, but I probably will never own a DeLorean. I've wanted one since I was a kid. I came real close to making a bad decision and buying one at some point in my young adult life. Yeah. See ya. See ya. Get out of my way, Yoshi. But I've always wanted a DeLorean. I think it's like the coolest car. And it's really a bummer because, like, you see the Cybertruck, and it's like, oh, this is kind of like a modern-ish, you know, take on the stainless steel DeLorean design. But it's just so poorly designed. It looks awful. I do not like the look of the Cybertruck at all. But if they made a version that was more sleeker and more, man, I would buy one in a heartbeat if it looked more like a DeLorean. Yeah, I love throwing the shells behind. It does look like a dumpster. That is a very low poly dumpster, right? It's almost exactly what it is. And, you know, my family, my mom has had a Tesla for like since 2014, I think was when she got her first one. She still has one. She's had the Model S and the Model X. My sister has a Tesla. And I'm totally down for one, but we live in the boonies. We live in the sticks. So having an electric vehicle is just not really, you know, like you would have, like there's no charging stations out here. So you could get it at your house, but if you go out, which is a good chunk of a drive, you know, it's half an hour from anywhere. Like if we want to go to fast food, it's half an hour. If we want to go to the grocery store, it's half an hour each way. So right there, if you want to go out into town or you want to go here or there, you have to plan for it. You can't just go, oh, you know what? I'm kind of out of charge. Let me just fill up really quick at the Shell station, you know, in town. That ain't happening. So for me, an electric vehicle has to have better battery capacity and things like that. It's got to have a range of like 800 miles before it needs a charge. And then, what else was I going to say about it? I can't remember. But I'd be fine with one if it met that type of design too. Like the design just is atrocious. I'm kind of bummed because they still haven't come out with a car remotely decent like the Hummer H2. Because my Hummer is on its last legs. I have an H2 and oh my gosh, that thing is just, it's been falling apart for years. It's such a poorly made vehicle. But it's so cool and it's very, very useful when it works. It's a tank. Like it's a legit tank. You could run into anything and it will just plow right through it. So it's a very safe car. It's awesome four-wheel off-roading capability. We lived in the mountains where it snowed several feet at a time. And so just getting in a car and making that thing act like a it's basically a snow plow. It's awesome for that. But there's no car on the market now that resembles something like that. And it's a crying shame because I would totally get a new one. And it's like the Cybertruck's kind of like that, in a sense. You get this big old, you know, massive four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive type of thing. But it just looks so ugly, just so ugly. Such a bummer. The Hummer's actually in the shop right now, and it's like, okay, if I don't even know how much it's gonna cost, but upwards up to like, we're looking at like 8K for it probably. And it's like, oh man, this thing isn't even worth that. Like, do I want to put the money into fixing it, or do I want to just get rid of it? But it's so useful when it works. What's up, Yosh, right? God dang it. Oh, the classic Beetles and Volkswagen vans. I love the old Volkswagen vans. I wanted one when I was a kid. I was actually debating on playing some San Francisco Rush tonight. That was one of the games I was thinking of playing. And I was like, oh, that would be really fun. Oh my gosh, what is happening? I just went from like 2nd to 5th. I hate this game. Because San Francisco Rush is, it's got a Volkswagen van and a Beetle. And when I was growing up, at the time when that game came out, I was on the verge of getting a car, like being 16 and going, oh, okay, I'm going to get my driver's license. I'm going to get a car. What am I going to be able to get? And I wanted, like, it was honestly a toss-up between a Bug and a van. But then the what was it? The Volkswagen Beetle was coming out at that time too. And so it was like, ooh, do I want that? And my parents were like, we're not buying you a new car. You're out of your mind. Yes, San Francisco Rush is super, super fun. All 3 of them. Awesome, awesome games, but yes, difficult. If you don't know the shortcuts and you don't have the extra vehicles because you didn't get the keys. I don't know what's going on right now. Look at this. I just got stuck in that corner and I haven't hit it at all this entire time. Oh. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. My sister-in-law, when I first started dating my wife, my sister-in-law had a Beetle, and she loved it. Oh, dude, you know, depending on how this stream goes, maybe we'll jump into some San Francisco Rush 2, or Rush 2049. Honestly, I think Rush 2 is my favorite out of the entire series. I think in the Retro Sember series, I think I played all 3 of them. So if you look up the Retro Sember series that I did in December, and I played through all the Nintendo 64 games, I think the day that I did San Francisco Rush, I played a little bit of each of the 3 games in that video. A little bit of San Francisco Rush 1, 2, and 2049. Oh, you got it all like nice and shiny, and then you got it totaled. Oh, that sucks. Let me go, thank you. So that is the, dang it. That is the nice thing about rubber banding, is if you are in a bad spot, it can help you out. But again, like I was saying, rubber banding punishes you for doing good at the game. And I've never liked mechanics like that. I think that's really unfair. But something like that, you know, squeak out a 3rd place right at the very, very end. Whew. Oh, the vapors are getting to me. Yeah, this is great. This is fun. I'm having fun. I hope everyone else is too. Man, my chat is just so broken. It sucks. There we go. Now it's fixed. I saw your Automobile Lamborghini stream. I saw that. I had it going a little bit earlier today while I was working. My my class was taking a test today, and while they were taking their first test, I loaded up your stream, kind of watching it a little bit, and then also I recorded the podcast today while my students were teaching. So for like an hour, I was like, okay, they're teaching, record, and just started recording the podcast. Yeah, Automobile Lamborghini is a Nintendo 64 racing game, consisting of Lamborghini cars. It's a licensed game, so it will never see a port, ever. Because you know how curmudgeon-y car manufacturers are about licenses in video games, because that's the stupidest thing in the world. Man, there really needs to be someone to fix IP licensing in video game properties. Like, it doesn't make sense, dude. This game, you're allowing them to use your car, you know, or property or whatever. They get to use it, and they put it in the game, and you know, it's done. It's insane. The music thing, I think, is even more egregious, because like man, my brain just went out. Just the lights turned out. Outrun is an excellent example of licensing being stupid, because they have this game, Outrun, that has Ferraris in it, right? And they just will not re-release it because the license expired. But music is even worse. because yeah, like you're saying, you can't stream with it. That's a kind of like a newer thing about it. But the fact that they're like, okay, well, if you want to re-release this game, like it's on the storefront, like of Steam, let's say. It's a Steam game. It's available for sale. Or it's not, it's delisted, but it's in people's libraries. They'll literally go, well, the license has expired for it. So instead of just not doing anything and not selling it, we're literally gonna modify and remove the music out of the pre-existing product. That's like having, there we go, good. Whew, I think that was the last one. I don't think we're getting gold on this one. They'll take the license out of it in your library. You already bought the product and they will remove it. Yeah, it actually happened with GTA Vice City. Vice City was like the big one that happened to about, oh, at this point, probably 8 or 9 years ago, I'd say. And you bought the game, you bought the product, and they literally went into the files and removed it from your game. So obviously, if you had it already installed, nothing happens unless you do update it. And I think it might actually remove it. And then also if you tried to re-download it, it wouldn't have some of those music files. I think like Michael Jackson's, it wasn't Thriller, it was Billie Jean. Billie Jean was one of them and stuff like that. Beam.ng. Yeah, what a weird name for that game. They really need to rename that game. It's so terrible of a name. Let's see how we did. Yeah. Odyssey Corsa is also really good too. Yeah. But the whole reason I was going on that rant is, can you imagine if they said, you know what? The Godfather uses this one clip of a music in the background of this one scene, so we're just gonna cut that out. You can't do that. You don't get to do that. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, that stuff always kind of bugs me. I could go on a rant. Ooh, I could go on a rant. Yeah, it's in the game, but you can't hear it. Muted, or they'll replace the file, or just straight up delete the file. Or they'll just like pull games from the not your library. Oh shoot. Okay. Was someone talking about, give me a second here. Let me bounce out of here. Because that music is super distracting. Is someone here? I don't remember who it is. We were talking about a game that was a samurai game that was not Samurai Champloo. I thought it was. And it was a second sequel to the samurai game that got released. Yes, okay, Josh, right, it's you. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember who I was having this conversation. It was not Samurai Champloo, it's Afro Samurai 2. Afro Samurai 2 was the game that got released and then literally pulled out of people's libraries and then refunded after they already bought and owned the game for like a week. Afro Samurai 2, that's what it was. You know what? This is an excellent time to, you know, let's play something else. Let's play something else. I'm not gonna mess around with the graphics tonight. I don't want to. So give me a second here. We're gonna play a little bit of Rush. We'll do all three of them. We'll play a little bit. You'll get a sense of what the Retrocember games or Retrocember videos were. What did I do? Man, I keep messing up. I'm sorry. My brain is all over the place. Here we go. Yeah. Tenchu Stealth Samurai. Oh man, what a great game. What's your name? Nothing nasty now. We're gonna go with the Viper. We're gonna go with a purple Viper. Because my dog's name is Viper, and so I always like the Dodge Viper. Can we please get back to an era where cool cars happened? Okay, so I do a lot of weird crap in my life. Like, I do a lot of stuff. I stream, I podcast, I write articles, I run a website, I am in an improv group, and I'm working on a stand-up set. And so I was kind of working with my wife on my stand-up set tonight, and she's kind of rolling her eyes. But the other day, my wife and we were driving down the road, and I saw a really cool looking car, like an old 1950s Chevy. And I went, oh, how crazy is it that guys, any guy in the entire world will see a cool looking car and go, oh, no, I just want everyone to appreciate how cool this car is. Women do not care. Women do not care about how cool a car is at all. And I'm not a car guy, but man, she just looked at it and went, and I'm like, do you not appreciate the technical marvel that is this car? Ugh. Yeah, the technical engineering of old classic cars, man. So good. But I think I'm going to workshop that and incorporate it into my stand-up set, because I was like, you know what? This is totally a bit. This is totally a bit. Oh. The ID Buzz. I don't know what that is. What is that? Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate and read chat and tell a story, so I might have missed something there. Hold on. Yeah, the Banshee in GTA 3, that's right. Oh, it's an electric car. Okay. Okay. I don't think I've seen or heard of that. I really don't follow cars at all, and I don't follow the electric car stuff. Like I said, the only reason I know about Tesla stuff is because my parents have one, and my sister has one. So I've been around Teslas for at least since 2014. Oh, it's the VW bus. Okay. Okay. Interesting. ID Buzz. I've not heard of that. Nice gains, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to definitely look that up, because that sounds really interesting. I really hope at some point they can fix the. I might be able to fix the black flashing, so I apologize, but this game has pretty rough emulation, so that black flashing kind of happens every once in a while. I bet you if I start digging into the settings, I could probably get rid of it. Danger zone! Yes, that's awesome. Good old Kenny Loggins. I'll take a third place. All right, we all have to listen to this. Is everyone ready for the greatest music in any video game? Here we go.
Start with a C. Start with a G. Start with a Z. Nothing nasty now.
Nothing nasty now.
Your name. Spell it. That's how you spell it. What's your name? What's your name? That's your name. What's What's your name?
Oh, what a weird song. Okay, well, you know, it's just about midnight, so I feel like we should crack open a cold one with the boys. So if you got any drinks, whatever your drink of choice may be, cheers. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday night, and yeah, let's all have some fun tonight. We'll do one more San Francisco Rush race, which we'll do my favorite track, which is track 6. This has always been my favorite. It's a tough one because of the buses. We are gonna do Purple Viper again. Basic water. Hey, whatever you got. Crack open a big old can of water, of agua, as us Mexicans say. Driving to Cookeville tomorrow? Yeah, Easter weekend, man. People are doing some stuff. Right? Just chill on the weather for a weekend. Like, please. So we've got weather that's supposed to be sunny, but a minor wind of 10 to 15 miles per hour. And our church is doing a, every year we do it at the, like an outdoor single service at the park. And it's supposed to be windy a little bit. So hopefully we're praying that, we talked about in small groups tonight, hopefully that the wind will not take any of the canopies down. I'll respawn. But yeah, I'm excited to have hopefully a nice, relaxing, enjoyable Easter weekend. And you know, it is almost Great Friday. We've got a few more minutes before it's great. I call it Great Friday. I know it's Good Friday, but let's be honest, it's a great Friday. That bus. Oh boy. Whew, that was close. Man, I loved playing chicken on this course as a kid. So one of my favorite things about San Francisco Rush, if you're going, why are you playing this weird arcade style Nintendo 64 racer, Ryan? Well, let me tell you, San Francisco Rush is an arcade game that was ported to the Nintendo 64 and also PlayStation, the original Sony PlayStation. The reason why I like the Nintendo 64 version is because the physics are exaggerated. You have a very over-exaggerated low gravity, so you get a lot of air. And isn't that what we want as kids? Oh, I forgot to crash the glass. Also, not only, man, this blinking is just rough. We might have to stop this. It's hurting my eyes. But there's a lot of secrets as well, and we'll see if we can get it, because there is a secret just about over here. Nope, I blew up. I believe it's right over here. Nope, I blew up. Dang it. But there's a lot of secrets. You can mess around, and there's unlockables because of the secrets. There's hidden keys, floating keys all around the course that allows you to unlock a lot of, or not a lot, but you can get two different cars, two different unlockable cars, a hot rod and a taxi. Yeah, the 64 has always had a really weird emulation story. It's been one of the harder systems to emulate. Nintendo 64, up until just a couple years ago, Sega Saturn, and the original Xbox, insanely hard to emulate for whatever reason. Especially with the Xbox, you would think that, like, it being a Pentium 3 processor, that it would be very easy to emulate, but apparently the stuff is just way harder than it should be. Yeah. But at least we got the Sega Saturn, or no, sorry, not Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn also used to be notoriously hard to emulate, but a few years ago, they kind of cracked the code on that, so it's fairly solid at this point. I'm sorry, I was thinking the Atari Jaguar. Up until a couple years ago, when the Atari 50-year collection came out, a developer, Rich Whitehouse, was contracted to make an emulator for that system by Atari, so it's an officially licensed system. They gave him a lot of the documentation to accomplish it, and then he was able to use that, open source it, and put it out on the internet as it's his own emulator. So we have a full Atari Jaguar, like perfect emulation of Atari Jaguar and Jaguar CD at this point, which is like unheard of. Jaguar emulation was just like there's no way, because it's got a very small library of like 60 something games. No one liked it, no one cares about it, and when it's not a popular system like that, no one wants to spend the time to fix it. Yeah, exactly, who wants to, right? So the fact that we got an official, full-blown, perfect emulation of Jaguar was awesome. Because I was a Jaguar kid. I had a Jaguar. I played Theme Park, Power Drive Rally, and Zoop 2 on Zoop? Yeah, no, Zool. Zool 2, not Zoop. Zoop was the puzzle game. Zool 2 on Jaguar. Those were the games that I played. I also had Wolfenstein 3D, not a great port. Aliens vs. Predator, I never had. I always wanted to. Cybermorph, not really a big fan of. I didn't have it. My best friend did. Where did you learn how to fly? These are all the things that are just rattling around in my brain. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done here. I want to move on to Rush 2. Rush 2 is a much better game. Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly? Where did you... Just over and over and over again, man. So, here's something. Why can we not have more than 2 recorded voice clips for any certain subject matter in a video game? Is it really that difficult to apply 17 different versions of audio clips to a single scenario? Can we not have more than, where did you learn how to fly? Said one single way, for all of the entire game? It's the same thing with like a lot of fighting games and a lot of platformers where they just have one voice line and it just repeats ad nauseum, and you're just like, oh, just shut up, please. I've been working on some, and that's another thing I'm doing too, is I've been working on a little bit of game development. Since I got sick really a lot recently and stuff, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try my hand at game development again. Since I did develop back in 2016 for VR. That was really fun, but that was a lot of work. And I was like, man, I'll never do that again. But now I'm like, I could probably do something like that again. I think I've gotten a lot better at certain parts that I really did not like about game development. So I've been working on it. And one thing I'll make sure of is to record like at least 20 different lines of dialogue for one scenario. Big rigs? No, I will not be buying that. No, thank you. Here's a bummer thing that happened to me today. I was sitting here getting ready for work, and I saw the fact that there was a 5090, an RTX 5090 available. And I went, you know what? Maybe I'll buy this. I clicked, sign in, add to cart. And then I looked at the clock and I went, oh crap, I'm supposed to be live right now. So I switched over, did my class, taught, sent them on their way for testing. And I said, all right, guys, get started on the test. I'll be here monitoring. Let me know if you need anything. I went off camera. I went to go check out, and it's like sold out. I'm like, man. Such a bummer. All right. So bummed. I really want a 5090. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't meant to be. God bless my wife, because she was like, I told her that today, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. And I'm like, I am so happy that you're not mad at me for trying to attempt to buy a $2,000 graphics card. She's like, yeah, no, just let me know if you want me to take care of it and sign in and do it for you. I'm like, I won the lottery. I don't need that card anymore. I won the lottery. You're rad. Oh, the haircut? Yeah, I have no hair now. It got so warm that I was like, okay, it's warm now. It's like 75 degrees. I'm getting a little hot in here in the studio. So we shaved it, and then now it's cold again, and I'm wearing a jacket. My head's freezing. Okay, let's play a little San Francisco Rush 2. Ooh, that is loud in my headphones. I'm gonna crank that down. Let me know if the audio is too loud for you guys. I don't think it shouldn't be. Yep. It was nice and warm, and now it's freezing cold again. Okay, so San Francisco Rush obviously takes place in San Francisco, right? What Rush 2 does is it expands that into the United States. So Rush 2 not only does some cool, other types of USA cities, which we'll take a look at, but it does some other cool stuff too. So we'll do one race. And this was awesome. So yeah, San Francisco Rush, you have the famous Alcatraz, right? I've been there. It's awesome. It was like one of my favorite things as a kid, going to Alcatraz with my dad. Okay, it's still loud. All right, here, let me crank that down to 40%. Let me know if that's better. So it was an arcade game, and they came out with a couple different versions. They came out with Rush the Rock Edition on the arcade, where they added Alcatraz. And it was a bummer when it got ported, because it was like, oh, there's the Alcatraz track, but that's only in the arcade, not on the home console port. It was so cool to see that Rush 2 added Alcatraz in it. So there's Alcatraz. And then we have Los Angeles. So we did not just stay within San Francisco. It expands out into California, right? So there's Los Angeles. And then Seattle. So the West Coast of the United States. Hold on. Yeah, we'll talk about those in a second. Las Vegas as well, and you've got like the entire Vegas Strip. So you've got the New York, the Luxor, the Seattle Space Needle, Circus. And then it was kind of weird. They added two different New York tracks, New York Downtown and Uptown, but they're not together. I don't know why they're not together in this menu system. Then you have Hawaii, which, hey, that's kind of cool. All right, cool, Hawaii. And then you've got the bonus tracks. There's a half pipe track, a crash course track, and my absolute favorite, stunt. So we'll get to stunt in a little bit, but let's play a few. Let's start off with Alcatraz. And again, we got the Viper, but let's take a look at the other cars that we got. We got a Volkswagen Bug. So it's called the Subcompact. You have the concept car from like the first game. A hatchback, like an old, like, what is this, a Golf? A cruiser, like an old classic cruiser car, 1950s, you know, with the wings on the back. The Stallion, like a Ford Mustang, right? A 4x4, so like a Bronco or a, you know, an Explorer, Ford Explorer. A nice pickup truck, which is my favorite of the entire cars in this game. Compact, so another one with like a spoiler on the back. Like a nice muscle car. Yeah, this is the one that you go, ooh, to. The mobster car, which again, another like kind of classic car, but it looks a little weird in this game, even with the different colors. Like if you want to change the color, like, yeah, cool, but it doesn't look very good. It's like super blocky and rounded. I don't like the tail end. Not my favorite. And then you got like the BMW sedan. And then a Bandit. I don't know what this would be, like a Ford Taurus, maybe something. I don't know. You got the coupe, the exotic, so like a Lamborghini, the Volkswagen van. So you can see there's a ton of cars in this game. I love it.
3, 2, 1, run!
All right. So here we are in Alcatraz. So my dad and I actually went to Alcatraz when I was about 13, I believe. My dad had to go to San Francisco for a job, and he took me to it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're father-son trip up to San Francisco, and I had to stay in the hotel during the day while he was doing the work thing. But after he was done with work, which was like in the afternoon or whatever, we would go out and do some like sightseeing. And back in the 90s, you know, like mid 90s, San Francisco wasn't that bad. Not that bad, but it was really interesting. We went to like Lombardy Street, Haight-Ashbury, all the classic San Francisco stuff. Then on the weekend, we stayed for like the weekend and we did the Alcatraz tour. And oh my gosh, that was so fun. Just so much fun. The Supra. Yeah, the Supra. That's what I was thinking of. I could not think of the name. I know I skipped over it. So it's interesting because, like I said, San Francisco Rush is known for its shortcuts. There's multiple ways to get, you know, through the race. And you have the heightened lo-fi gravity and stuff like that. Really cool. Also, you get like in-game advertisements for EGM and videogames.com and stuff like that. Mountain Dew. Really, really just a time capsule of this exact period. Like late 90s, early 2000s, the internet is starting to become a thing. Really cool. Videogames.com. Oh, come on. That was not fair. That was really unfair. I should not have gotten killed there. Yeah, I think my string kind of got messed up tonight. I don't have a playback anymore. That's fine. As long as you guys are still around, as long as you can see the stream, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. And then I remember in the arcade, oh my gosh, you get this big corkscrew. And the corkscrew was just like, no way, you're going upside down. It's so cool. Now it's like not a big deal at all. It's all good? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for verifying that. But man, this was a special series. And I've always said that it's a bummer that they did not figure out what to do to bring it into modern times. So they had San Francisco Rush, Rush the Rock, the Alcatraz edition for arcades, Rush 2, which is exclusive to Nintendo 64. This game is exclusive, never came on any other system, exclusive to the Nintendo 64. And then after like 1 or 2 more races, we'll go to Rush 2049. They went back to San Francisco, but went into the future. And that was it for the Nintendo 64 versions of the series. Ooh. Oh, yeah, double barrel, triple. Oh, almost. Ah, dang, and I saw the key. I saw the hidden key. So in this game, not only do you have hidden keys, but there's those floating Mountain Dew cans that you can collect. If you collect all that stuff, again, you get extra different cars and things like that. Really, really interesting. F-Zero corkscrew, yeah. Man. Why do... There's another key. There's another hidden key. Yes. They're really weird, but like in a super fun way. And you just don't get games like this anymore. The indie scene is kind of bringing them back over the last several years, for sure. And man, I try not to go on a rant about it, but it's really weird. I have a love-hate relationship with the indie scene for video games, because a lot of indie video game developers, we got some play, bam, yeah. A lot of indie video game developers really just make the game that doesn't exist anymore too closely. Like if we say, oh, we want a game that's like Contra, why don't we have a game like Contra? They're just gonna make exactly Contra with a different name and a different character style. That's it. They made that game. They don't iterate on it. They don't go, why do we like Contra? Well, it's a side scroller that's a run and gun shooter that deals with, you know, it takes place like in this idealized jungle Vietnam setting and then just cranks it up to maximum with aliens. They make that exact same game. They don't iterate going, okay, that's the core and like, let's change it a bunch. No, they just make Contra with a palette swap almost. It's like beam.ng, yeah. Okay, so we did Alcatraz. Let's do a new one. Let's do Hawaii. Hawaii is a pretty fun one. I should have done a different car, sorry. Oh well. I apologize for nothing, I take it back. I take it all back. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with indies, because they just don't iterate, for the most part, like I feel like they should. They just make the same game. Another example is a game that's coming out fairly soon. I haven't seen anything about it for the last, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 months. But there's a game called Simon Quest: The Adventure of Castlevania. It's literally Simon's Quest, but the name is called Simon Quest. Like his first name is Simon, last name Quest. And it's just Castlevania 2. But it's a modern version of it with, you know, a different, like it's a parody game in name, but not in style or direction. It's just a new version of that. They're not making a new style of Castlevania game like Infernax. If you want Infernax, that's what, you know, they're kind of pushing that Simon Quest Castlevania 2 style, because it does have that day-night cycle. Oh, what a night to have a curse and things like that. But it's taking it up to like 11. It's doing it's doing more stuff different than just saying this is a new Castlevania style game. And that's where I go, yeah, that's what I want. But when you're just going, oh yeah, we're making Castlevania 2 and we're calling it Simon Quest: The Adventures of Castlevania. Ha 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 ha. Give us money, buy our game. Like, no, that's not enough. Yes. It is a terrible night to have a curse. That's the quote, yeah. Terrible night to have a curse. But yeah. Didn't want to get on a rant. I try not to, but there's just some times where I'm like, what are these indie developers doing? Stop just making the same game. Like, how many thousands of Pokemon games are there that are not called Pokemon, but there are they're 100% Pokemon in every single aspect. They literally just changed the names, and that's pretty much it. The art style, the names of like the village, the inner DNA of the game is like copy pasted, and that's where I just go, I don't think I respect you. I don't respect your game or what you're doing. But again, that's just me. Hey, get out of here, mobster. Pink mobster with a single fat racing line. My friend Andre, when we might have been out of college. We might have been in college. I think it was we were in college. He had just a really beat up old sedan. There you go, that's right. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you read that. Yeah, I put out a little quick review of Metroid Prime Remastered for Game of the Month. And that's how my reviews go, is basically I don't do the review of the graphics were really good. I liked the music. The controls were a little bit loose, and I did not like that. But overall, the story is of Samus, who starts on a spaceship and then and they just repeat the story verbatim. Like, I don't do reviews like that. The way that I do reviews is basically my experience, how I felt playing through the game, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I think could have been better, and stuff like that. And so if you do go to the website and check out other reviews, you'll notice it's a very similar style of, this is my experience with the game. This is why I like it and why I didn't like it. And I think that's what's valuable about reviews. I don't need someone to tell me the graphics look really nice. I think the sound design is a 10 out of 10. You know what? I think the controls are a 4 out of 5. Like, that does nothing for me. Like, in that review, I talk about how I didn't like the fact that I had to pull my thumb off the control stick to switch out the visors, or stop mid-combat to change out the weapon from the wave beam to the ice beam or whatever. And so that's kind of how I describe games and like talking about them. And I do the same thing on the podcast. I recorded the podcast earlier today. I was wanting to get it out, but by the time I got done with work, we had to go to our small Connect group for church. And then we just got back, and then my wife's going to a dog show this weekend. And so like I had to help her pack and everything. And then I came in here and went live. So that was my day. So I haven't gotten the podcast uploaded yet, but I'm going to try and do that tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a hopefully easier day. Oh, thank you. I hope you liked it. That's all I can hope for. But yeah, that's kind of my writing style, is my experience, not like, does this game meet, numbered specifications? Like, we could get into a whole discussion about review scores and things like that, which I value somewhat. I think review scores are valid, but they do not need to be, nor should they be taken completely literally. I think a 10 scale or 100 scale point review system is basically pointless, because you're never gonna actually use the entire scale. No one does, right? No one uses the 10-point scale. No one uses the 100-point scale to its fullest. If we looked up on IGN what is the lowest score for a video game that they've reviewed, it's gonna be maybe 5.9 or something like that, right? Maybe a 4.2 at bare lowest. It's not gonna be a 0.1 or a 0.9 or a 2.7 or anything like that, because they don't use that. And especially with IGN, it's all 7 anyways. Like, literally every game is a 7 or a 10. It's either it's fine or it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I don't like that. Same thing with a 10 base score. Like, no one uses, this is a 3, this is a 2 game, even though there are absolutely games like that, especially on Steam, that are indie developed, you know, cash grab, asset SWAT. It's useful. That's a charming word for it. Yeah. But so this is the thing. When I record my podcast and I put it out into the world, I put it out into the world because it's what I want to hear from other people. I record the podcast that I would like to hear. And I listen to my own podcast, not because I like the sound of my own voice, but because I like listening to someone talk about a game the way that I would want to hear. So like in the Discord, if you go into those voice channels, there's the 24/7 classic stream channel, so you can just watch old streams from last year, or the podcast voice channel that just has a loop of the podcast running 24/7. Sometimes it breaks, so, you know, just let me know if it ever does break. But if you want to listen to, you know, me talk about games, like there's so many different avenues, and I do it because that's how I want. Like, I want my streams to be, I want to watch streams like what you guys are watching, where someone's just having fun talking about games in a really relaxed and enjoyable manner. And then also, same thing with a podcast. I just talk about the games in a way that I want to hear other people talk about them. Why do you think this game is good? Not that it's, I don't need news and podcast of, let's just say the same thing everyone else is saying. I can guarantee you my podcast is not that. I don't follow the same gamer podcast format of what you've been playing, gaming news, emails, sign off. Like, I don't do that at all. I just go, all right, cool. I'm going to talk about the games that I've been playing. Here's all the games I've been playing. Here's why I liked them. Here's what I liked about them. Here's what I've been watching throughout the week or throughout the month. Here's some kind of things that are going on the stream, the game of the month and stuff like that. And all right, cool. See you later. Bye. Rush Hour 2. Yeah. Oh, the Rush Hour series, man. I want to watch Rush Hour so bad, like just that whole series. I keep asking my wife, should we watch the Rush Hour series? No, like I want to watch that. And she's like, we watched it together when we were dating. I'm like, and let's watch it again. I love Jackie Chan. I love Chris Tucker. I love Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. All right, let's play my favorite course in all of the series of Rush, the stunt track. So this is a track that doesn't have any other cars, and it just allows you to play around as a sandbox level. You just do stunts for a certain amount of time. So we'll switch out. We'll do, what car should we do? Should we do the coupe or Robin Hood Men in Tights? One of the weirdest, not weirdest, but one of the classic classic Mel Brooks movies that I kind of forget is a Mel Brooks movie. Robin Hood Men in Tights is like right around the time Mel Brooks movies were like, I don't know about this. Like Dracula Dead and Loving It. But Robin Hood Men in Tights was like the one that my wife always loved. That's her favorite Mel Brooks movie. So when we were dating, no, it was when we got married, we started watching them. And she's like, let's watch Robin Hood Men in Tights. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I went, oh, I forgot. This is actually really funny. This is a really funny movie. But my favorite was always Blazing Saddles. That's my favorite Mel Brooks movie because I love Westerns. And then also just every single line of that movie is just straight up hilarious. But this is the stunt track. You just try and do different stunts. You'll blow up, but there's no consequence. There's no time. There's a time limit. but you are trying to just do stunts. Now, my camera's kind of covering it, but there is a bottom portion. Oh, no, it's not. I totally forgot. I fixed that. So you can see the best 10, total 13. What else? Young Frankenstein is kind of, when anyone says, what is the best Mel Brooks movie of all time? Everyone says Young Frankenstein. While I do agree it is a top 3 Mel Brooks movie, maybe even top 2, Blazing Saddles is always my favorite. Robin Hood Men in Tights is my wife's favorite. And there's a lot of other ones like Silent Movie. I actually really like Silent Movie, and most people have no idea even what I'm talking about. They're like, what is that? It's a Mel Brooks movie where it's a silent movie. And people forget that. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Oh man, I cannot remember. My brain is just melted at this point. It's been a long day. Oh yes, I love this part. This part is great. So up here at the top, like there's this like weird moon crater area, but if we turn around and we drive through here, we can try and make this jump, which I don't think we're gonna make. But it's a pit of spikes, and there is that key there. So if you angle it, you'll get that key. Oh yeah, that's right. Dave Chappelle is in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He's Achu, right? Listen tight. So, my favorite line, and this sounds stupid, my favorite line in all of Robin Hood Men in Tights is, "Hey, Abbott!" Because the whole Abbott and Costello, "Hey, Abbott!" But he's an abbot, like a father. I hate that guy. Everyone does. No one ever understands why that joke is so funny, and I will always laugh my head off whenever I see that. And like I remember my wife and I were watching it, and she's like, "Why are you laughing so much?" I'm like, "You just don't get it." She's a lot younger than me, so like we have a little bit of a generational gap going on, but I also like a lot of older classic stuff. I love silent comedy. I love, the silent film era. So a lot of stuff like Fatty Arbuckle, Buster Keaton, stuff like that. People were like, who? Yes, this is a rad map, and this is why Rush 2 is my favorite out of the entire Rush series. There's just tons of things to do, and you just have to get the keys and stuff like that. So you can do as much stuff as you want. There's like these half pipes, the keys, and the Mountain Dew can. Yeah, Laurel and Hardy. Oh, such a great. Did you watch the Laurel and Hardy movie? Dude, I just blinked on the name of it. It's got John C. Reilly as Hardy, and who's Stan Laurel? Steve Coogan is Stan Laurel. Check that movie out. I cannot remember what it's called. Oh my gosh. I don't think it's on the website. It's a newer movie. It came out a few years ago. Yeah, it's really, really good. So the Game or Die website actually used to host a lot of my articles about like movies and TV shows and a bunch of other random crap like comic books. I think there's a comic, if you go to the website and in the search bar of the website, you just type comics. I think I did host a Ryan's recommendations for comics in like 2023 or something like that. And so if you want to find a couple good comics, there's a bunch of reviews of like the IDW run of Ninja Turtles, Batman or Wolverine, Black and White and Red, stuff like that. But yeah, I wrote a review for the Laurel and Hardy movie, and I think I took it down because I was like, I want this to be more video game based. Okay, we'll do one more race and then we'll jump to Rush 2049. What should we do? Ooh, let's do the Crash one. The Crash one's fun, and we'll do the pickup again. I like the pickup. So this one is an actual race, but it's got a lot of the stuff from the stunt track in it as well. You got like the quarter pipes and the half pipes and things like that, and the little bumps and jumps. And when you are on X amount of laps and you're running behind or really fast, then you start crossing over. Ooh, I forgot the truck is very, very wiggly with its controls. Man, this like techno, bumpin' techno music from the early 2000s. It's funny, my wife and I, we were in the car the other day and we were talking about music. And I don't know how we got on the subject of rap, because neither of us like rap. And so she was talking about like rap, and I was like, you know, I never got into rap. The only rap that I ever listened to in high school was Beastie Boys. Like that was it, Beastie Boys, and that's it. Never into gangster rap or any of that type of stuff. And then we started getting into like subgenres. She said, oh, I liked, I don't like rap, but I liked something, but I never understood if it was rap or not. I was like, no, that's more like R&B or hip hop. And she's like, what are those? Like, what's the difference between all that stuff? So I started getting into that a little bit. And then I was telling her, yeah, I was never really into rap like a lot of kids my age in high school. I was weirdly into techno. I was into like Darude and Fatboy Slim and Chemical Brothers and stuff. So that was kind of my whole spiel. I didn't even get to the first lap. Ugh. Okay. All right. Pablo Francisco. Oh my gosh. Pablo Francisco. I can't do the high voice, but hi, puppy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I haven't thought about Pablo Francisco. I used to know that entire Comedy Central special by heart. Get down. What? Get down again. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was a blast from the past. Good grief. Wow. I just got transported back into high school, sitting on my parents' couch when I still lived with them and watching Comedy Central, watching Kevin James sweating the old stuff, Pablo Francisco, and Nick Swartzen. Nick Swartzen comedy special was also one of those ones that I knew everything. Brian Regan as well. Man. Okay, Rush 2049. You know what his funeral bit where he's, yep, mm-hmm. And man, his funeral bit where he's like, I just want to pay, oh man, I cannot remember his name. I love him. What is his name? Uncle Jesse from Full House. I cannot believe I'm blanking his name. Dude. What is the actor's name for Uncle Jesse? John Stamos. Thank you. John Stamos. The fact that he's like, I want to pay John Stamos to come to my funeral. People are going to be like, wait, what? Did Nick know John Stamos? Why is he crying? That's such a good bit. I actually saw Nick Swartzen at the Irvine Improv years ago, and I'm not going to tell it. It is a bad joke, But he told one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard in my life, and we were the only ones laughing. My friends and I, oh my gosh. Yeah, who farted? He said who farted and he killed himself. Okay, so this is San Francisco Rush 2049. This is basically the first game, San Francisco, but it's in 2049, so it's all futuristic. And what sets this game apart, other than the fact that it's in 2049, you have wings on the car. So when you get air, you can actually control, and you'll get points accumulating by getting those rolls and flips. Excuse me. Stamos. One of my favorite things about John Stamos is, if you ever watched Clone High on MTV back in the day, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there's this TV show called Clone High where it was it's a cartoon, and it was about a high school that was comprised of the DNA of very famous people. And they made clones of those very famous people, like Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln, Cleopatra, George Washington Carver, stuff like that, right? And it's a really, really funny cartoon. It only aired for one season, and it had a lot of really good actors in it, from like a lot of actors from Scrubs, the TV show. Donald Faison, I can't remember who the janitor's name is. I keep forgetting his name, janitor and stuff. And so they actually came out just semi-recently, within the last 3 years or so. They came out with Clone High Season 2 and 3. And I will say it's definitely not as good, obviously. And the reason why the series got canceled is because it had Gandhi in it. And there was a backlash from the Indian community about having Gandhi in that and being the character that he plays. And so it got canceled, which was really a big bummer. But they did bring it back. You know, they did that retro revival of a series, like most TV shows at this point do. For the most part, it's pretty good. But there's a couple parts where it's like, that's not part of the character. Like, you just completely changed this character. And so it was kind of a little bit of a bummer in that aspect. But on the whole, I thought it was a pretty good, decent bring back, a revival for that series. I don't know why I got on Clone High for a second, though. John Stamos, Nick Swartzen. Yeah, I don't know why I went on that rabbit trail, but there you go. There's another just random Ryan reference of, hey, go watch Clone High. It's great. At least season 1. It's pretty much near perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I went and saw Nick Swartzen at the Irvine Improv Comedy Theater. And then I also I went to the taping. If you watch the taping of Brian Regan, I think it's Walking on the Moon. I think it was recorded around 2005-ish, 2005, 2006. I can't remember what special it is, but I was at that recording for Brian Regan. That was a really fun one. It was recorded at, I think it was recorded at the Irvine College campus. It's been a while. It's been it's been like 20 years. Weird techno music. Yeah, I was always into weird techno over like rap and, you know, all that other stuff. I do like metal, and I grew up on classic rock. I think I said it the other night. I think I said it last night that I grew up in Southern California, and so I would always listen to K-Rock and KLOS, classic rock. And Jed the Fish was a DJ that just passed away a couple days ago, and so I saw that and I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. John Beltran. No, I've never heard John Beltran. I don't know who that is. Oh, Joe Rogan's. You're in one of the Joe Rogan specials on DVD? Oh, nice. That's cool. I'm actually very surprised. My wife listens to Joe Rogan. Not all of his stuff. She doesn't like a lot of his stuff, but she'll listen to some of his podcast every once in a while. I'm like, that's so weird. Nice. That's cool. For hey, even for a second, you're immortalized on a DVD, right? That's pretty cool. Okay, so that was track 1. Let's do track 2. Here, we'll do the rocket car. The rocket car's pretty cool. I like it because it's got that big flame in the back. Look at that. Look at that. It looks so cool. So this one was interesting because it was actually at the end of the Nintendo 64's lifespan. They actually ported this game to, it was an arcade game, just like Rush 1. And then it was ported, Rush 2049 was ported to the Dreamcast. So the Dreamcast version is obviously much better than this one. Oh yeah, K-Earth 101, man. I grew up on K-Earth listening to the oldies. And when I say oldies, I'm talking the 50s and 60s. They didn't even, when I was listening to K-Rock, I was in 3rd and 4th grade because it was oldies. It was wholesome music that I had a little boombox radio player in my room that my parents allowed me to listen to the radio on. So I would always listen to K-Earth all the time. And I grew up on Elvis and the Supremes, Motown, all that type of stuff. The Righteous Brothers and stuff. When I got older, I started listening to classic rock, so KLOS. And I actually I was in film school and I was doing a lot of freelance filmography type of production shoots. I worked for Blizzard doing one of their very first conferences in a hotel ballroom, off the Dana Point, Marriott or something like that, back when I was in high school still, and I was doing this freelance gig. And then I worked for Huntington Beach's, oh man, what is it called? Now I'm blanking. It's this thing that Huntington Beach does called the Best Eats or something like that, where basically they'll have all the Huntington Beach small business restaurants do this big convention. And I worked with and recorded that event freelance, and I got to hang out with Mark and Brian from KLOS, the morning show, Mark and Brian. Yes, the Taste of Huntington Beach, yes. And I got to work on that event with Mark and Brian, and that was really cool because I listened to them all the time, and I was like, dude, I'm meeting Mark and Brian, this is cool. They're very, very nice. And I got a bunch of free food for that event, and I was not 21 yet, so I couldn't drink any of the beer. I don't like beer anyway, so I wasn't even wanting to, but they kept offering it to me. They were like, dude, you want a drink? I'm like, I'm too young, and they're like, who cares? They were super cool. They were super rad. Raphael's Italian Grill. Ooh. I could go for a little bit of Italian Grill right now. Yeah, they do. They definitely know how to party. And I like to party. It's really funny how so no one cares at all about any of that stuff. They're like, you look 21, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, no, you look 21. I'm sure you're 21, right? I'm like, I'm not picking up what they're putting down at all. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I was always a good kid. That's the thing. I never lied or never tried to break the law, really. The only stuff that I ever got in trouble for was stupid stuff like stunts. Like the stuff like on early Jackass or CKY, which was a lot of like just stunts, like the shopping carts and stuff. That's the stuff that I was into as a high school kid. It wasn't anything bad or doing anything illegal or anything like that. It was just stupid stunts and stuff. Yeah, Beastman and Skeletor. Here's some fun thing. April 1st of this year. So April Fool's Day, just what, 18 days ago. They leaked, and this is totally real. I did this last weekend because I just found out about it last weekend. So this is what my Saturday night was last weekend. Instead of streaming, they leaked CKY5. So I watched that. It's not perfect. It is a rough cut, but it is a lot of, you know, new stuff. There's some old stuff, behind the scenes recycled footage, but it does exist, and I was very happy about that. Let's do a new track. Because I was always a fan of all that stuff. I always followed that. And seeing 5 finally come out in some form or fashion, I was like, yes. And I watched it and went, dude, I feel like I'm back in 2003 again. Like, it was such a time capsule. It feels exactly like 2003. Yeah. Yeah, he got off on a wrong path, man. It's a bummer. It is a big bummer. I've heard he's doing a little bit better, but I mean, that's his story. Is I've heard he's doing a little bit better, and then he'll fall off the wagon again, and then I feel like he's doing a little bit better and fall off the wagon again. Man, back in LA, we would see CKY 2000, 2001. I saw CKY at like Chain Reaction, House of Blues in Anaheim when it was still at Downtown Disney. Oh my gosh, we saw them so much. Like, every time they came out and played, we saw them. Oh, right? Out of that entire crew, Steve was the one that was actually like the one that got his life completely turned around. So crazy. Out of that entire crew, you would never guess in a million years. You could put $1 million down in Vegas and think you're gonna win. Oh my gosh, yeah. That was when I heard about him like getting his life turned around. I was like, wait, what? That can't be real. That's fake. It's on the internet. It can't be real. But man, what a time in our lives, right? That early 2000s, not really internet influence type of mindset, just such a different time. And it wasn't even that long ago. I think back to like 2005 and I go, that was just like a handful of years ago, right? Nope. That was 20 years ago, Ryan. No, that's got to be like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, right? In my mind, it's like 2010. It feels like it's 2010 right now in my mind. Yeah. Human civilization has advanced so much in such a small amount of time. You think about like the early industrial age of the early 1900s. Ooh, cherry pie. I'm not a big cherry guy. I'm not a big cherry pie guy. Or cherries at all. I really don't like cherries, but cherry pie, I could have a slice of cherry pie right now. That sounds good. Man, what a fantastic time that we've been living in, though. Oh, blueberries are great. I make a mean blueberry crumble. It is like the one thing that I bake that everyone loves. I do it for like 4th of July parties or birthday parties and stuff. I'll make a blueberry crumble with a little bit of lemon zest infused into it, and man, it is phenomenal. Oh, and for Thanksgiving, I'll do it for Thanksgiving too. And so last Thanksgiving, we did, not this one because we hosted Thanksgiving in our new house. That was, oh boy, that was an event. Wow. But last year, the year before last, we did it at my aunt's house, and everyone brought a different pie. So there was pumpkin pie, there was pecan pie, sweet potato pie, rhubarb pie. Like, everyone bought a bunch of pies. Like, everyone brought one. Everyone just liked mine. The blueberry crumble pie was the favorite, the MVP for the evening. It was awesome. Oh, boysenberry from Knott's. Oh my gosh, yes. If I could have one thing besides In-N-Out over here, it would be Mrs. Knott's chicken with some boysenberry. Just give me boysenberry in my veins. Replace the blood with boysenberry. I will take it. I miss going to Knott's Berry Farm and getting a funnel cake with boysenberry and a boysenberry punch. Man. I went to, so my cousins lived right near Buena Park, and so they would always do Halloween Haunt. They actually work at it, like for like 10, 15 years or whatever. Like, Halloween Haunt was always like the thing that we did, and I almost worked it. I got hired, but then I went, I live kind of far away. I live about 45 minutes away, and I was stupid enough to go, you know, I work at an IT company and I value my career over this super fun thing that's only for a month. Oh, I was so, I still continually kick myself for not going and working Halloween Haunt for at least 1 year. Oh man. Okay, let's do a new track. I like track 3 because track 3 has that big jump. I don't know if you've been even watching the gameplay. I barely been even paying attention. But you have that big jump at where you go up the hill and you just drop down. And every lap, the airplanes get closer and closer. And I think that's one of the things that you don't get with a lot of racing games anymore. There was a game called Speed Devils on the Sega Dreamcast that kind of did the same thing. Man, I haven't played it. I might have to play that next. We might have to play Speed Devils. But it changes the course as you play through it. Every lap kind of has something different. Oh man, that sounds fantastic. You're really good. I like the look of this car. It looks kind of weird, but it feels good to drive. Like the control is very tight on this car. Oh, look at that. Look at that cityscape. Ugh. That's a good shot right there. That first jump is just spectacular. So we're back in San Francisco. We got the trolleys. Last time, man, it is, I was not aware of this until maybe about 3 hours ago. It is WrestleMania weekend. And I feel bad that I have not been paying attention to wrestling at all anymore. I ebb and flow with wrestling. Back in the 90s, I was really into it. You know, WCW, NWO era, Attitude era for WWF. I went to WrestleMania 2003 in Seattle. I went to WrestleMania 35, I believe, was the WrestleMania. It was in San Francisco in 2015. That was the last, so 10 years ago. Wow. Sorry, my throat. Yeah, I went to WrestleMania 2015, and it was so much fun. And I used to be really into wrestling for a few years there. again. Like, I was out of it, and then I was into it, and then I was out of it again and into it again. No, Andre was way before my time. So 2003 era WrestleMania was after WCW got bought out by WWF. Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, all those were kind of on their way out. The new era, like Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton and stuff, people were like, kind of, that's the era of WrestleMania 2003. I think that's 18. WrestleMania 18 was the, no, 19. WrestleMania 19. I always forget the number. And then 2015 was a lot of the early days of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, still there. I'm trying to think of who else. Cody Rhodes was kind of like in his weird Stardust phase, stuff like that. Yeah. Stone Cold. So I think WrestleMania 19 was The Rock versus Stone Cold, and it was like Stone Cold's last match. Oh, dude. Yeah, Brock Lesnar freaking rocked for a while. Oh my gosh. Brock Lesnar, man. Just the epitome of a dude you do not want to mess around with. I would crap my pants if I met him in a dark alleyway. If I walk through a dark alleyway and on the other end is a box with $1 million, a briefcase with $1 million, and Brock Lesnar is standing there saying, "You want this $1 million? Come get it." I just turn around and run the other way. Nope, not even worth it. I do not want to die. Yeah, that dude is a freak of nature for sure. His, what is it, trapezius muscles? Trapezoids. Oh my gosh, up to his ears. Insane. Yeah, I've seen pictures of his daughter, who's like a wrestler as well, like Roman Greco style wrestling, like actual real wrestling, not professional. And yeah, she looks crazy. I think his son, does he have a son? Maybe it's his son too. I don't know, but man. Ugh. What's up, Daniel? How are you doing, dude? Welcome back in. Final lap. Oh, we totally messed that turn up. Look at this cityscape that's coming up on this jump. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that looks. For a Nintendo 64 game, too. Like, not bad, right? But yeah, I was kind of taken aback because of WrestleMania coming, being this weekend. I was like, man, I used to be so hyped for that stuff. I think they're going way too overboard with a lot of stuff, though. Like, WrestleMania is now 2 days long. You know, they have a night 1 and night 2. And I'm just like, yeah. And they have the Hall of Fame, which I actually really appreciate. I like the Hall of Fame stuff, especially this year. This year they have Lex Luger being inducted. And Lex Luger used to be like this just epitome of, you know, just a Greek god type of body, right? Like, just perfect body. I mean, he was called the total package. And he went down a really dark road for a while after Miss Elizabeth died. And he was definitely a factor in that. He blames himself. He did a bunch of drugs and stuff. And he's also got a lot of health issues too now, to where he can't really walk. But DDP, God bless his heart, man, that dude is just like the most inspirational, greatest human being of all time, practically. And he is helping Lex Luger learn how to walk again. It's just crazy. Yeah, a lot of the wrestlers, I mean, just so many wrestlers have died so young because they partied, they get into drugs and alcohol, they make really bad decisions. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, I think. There's a series called The Dark Side of the Ring. Dark Side of the Ring is really interesting, but it's also kind of a little bit heartbreaking because you hear about all these just terrible decisions that these wrestlers have made, and most of them are dead because of it. And it's just like, oh, these people are no longer with us because they made some really bad decisions. Yeah, Andre was legendarily a big drinker, like just crazy. We'll do one more track. Oh, no, we won't. We won't do another track. We're gonna bounce out to a different game. Let's get another game going. Let's see. Now, I did say I wanted to show off a game that I haven't played since, let me see the date on this sucker. Give me 1 second here. This game came out. Does it have the date? Oh, come on. Does it not have it anymore? I used to have the date for all of these. I have the region, the max amount, the genre, but no date here. But we're gonna play a little bit of Speed Devils because I haven't played this since it came out, and I believe it came out in 2000. I'm gonna call it 2000 because this was like a launch era. Ooh, we should probably. Oh, I think it's still 4x9. No, I think we're good. Yep. Yeah, we're still good for 4x9. Yeah, the HBO documentary with, hey, let's all go to gameloft.com and try and play this game together online. What do you say? Yeah, there was a really good HBO documentary a few years ago about Andre. Oh, I know, right? Ubisoft used to be so good. Oh, I don't like that devil. That animated devil? No, thank you. Why is he meowing like a cat? That's weird.
Before you play this game, Speed Devils, there are 4 prophecies you ought to know. You ought to know. First, in victory, you will earn respect.
What is happening?
Beyond the speed limit, you will find wealth.
I do not remember this intro at
Seize
all.
the cars of your opponents, and they will fear you.
It really does.
And
Better than
fourth,
the female
courage
Silver
to
Surfer
fight
that was
and the
debuted
drive to
today,
win,
right?
And you shall be my brother.
What is
4
happening?
prophecies you ought to know.
The Dreamcast, man, it had a vibe. It had a vibe, man. Yeah, it looked really compressed. I'm gonna say that the image floating around a female Silver Surfer, yeah, it looked really badly compressed to the point where it's like, this is a bad faith photo. Like, I get it. She looks bad, but you're making it intentionally look awful because, like, if you saw some of the other posts, they put the 2005 Silver Surfer, and it's like a 4K Blu-ray rip, right? And then the like up-res, and then they have the other one, and it looks like it was taken on a flip cell phone from 2001. Like, it's like, come on, you can't do that. Like, if you want to make an argument, you have to, like, at least have comparable images. All right. What is it? Why can't I play something? It's not letting me play. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if the controls are working. Start is start button. We should be able to start it, and it's not. Aww. Why does it say Easter Forever Part 3 inverted control? What is going on with this? Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can fix this really quick. If not, we'll play something else. If you got a game you want me to play, an old classic retro game of any decade or system, if I've got it, which I do, if I can get it to run, which I usually can, we'll play it. That is so weird. What game? What game on the NES? Oh, gosh, Friday. All right. You and your friends are dead. Yeah, I don't think this is going to, I don't think Speed Devil's is gonna work tonight. That's a bummer. I was actually really looking forward to playing that for the first time. All right. Friday the 13th, blah, blah, blah. You guys can see my, my launcher. I don't care. Friday. If I could spell correctly, let's see. There it is. Yeah, just right in Jason's eye. Okay, I'm gonna crank this up just a little bit. Let me know if the audio is too low or too loud. Which camp counselor do we want to be? Do we want to be George, Mark, Paul, Laura, Debbie, or Chrissy? Let's do George. Oh. We went with George. Oh, well. Okay. So, is that just a random zombie? Because there's so many random zombies in Friday the 13th, right? Or is that Mrs. Voorhees? Because we all know in the original Friday the 13th, it is not Jason who is the killer. It is Mrs. Voorhees. Man, this first person mode is so weird. Is that fire good? See, this game is so obtuse. This game is really, really hard to get into if you don't know what's going on. Die. Die. Nope. Ooh. Chrissy. Can we take anything from Chrissy, or can we change to Chrissy? Okay, now we are Chrissy. Ooh, she jumps, but she doesn't throw. Okay, no, she does throw. Okay, so who is being attacked? I'm assuming up near the top left corner, Crystal Lake camp map, that's where we need to go. So we just go all the way over. Then, okay. So that's another house. I gotta say, this is probably the most I've ever played in this game. I wanted to love this game when it first came out because I was a kid and Friday the 13th was a movie that I should not have been watching type of thing. But man, oh, whoa, we went past. Way past, hold on. Okay, so right here. Thank you. Yeah, what's up, do we pass? What do we do? Cure? Take? Oh, he's in here. Oh, there's Jason. Suck it, Jason. Ow. Chrissy is going down. Oh, Chrissy has died. Oh, Chrissy. Okay, let's do... Well, can we go back to Paul? And if we're in here with Paul... Ah. Okay. And dead. Paul is immediately dead. Just toast. Yeah, poor Paul. Rest in peace, Paul. Well, we will see how far I can get. Okay, I don't think, I don't know if Jason's gonna be in here at this point. Because it wasn't blinking. Okay, zombie drop the dagger weapon, okay. What a weird game, man. Like, it's interesting for sure because you see, like, the idea of what this game is trying to do is just, it was so technically limited that it's really hard unless you kind of give your mind over to what's going on. Okay, so we're gonna just try and see if we can get some zombies. Hey, come back. There we go. Yeah, well, I'll take the lighter. Whoa! Whoop. Ooh, the key. Okay, and George was the one who immediately started with the lighter. Just my luck. So what does the key do? Okay, doesn't look like anyone is in here. So if we go over there, then, okay, so I'm kind of starting to understand this. So in the top right, or bottom right corner, that's where George is. Mark is up in the top right corner. Laura is kind of near the lake, and then Debbie is on the house near the lake as well. Okay, so if we go to the cave in the top left, where that big circle of 4 houses are, that's where they are. Okay, so we're Laura. We're gonna get out. We're over there, so we're gonna go left and go down the track. Oh, I don't have the key? I thought I just picked it up. What happened? Did I die? Oh crap, Jason. Kane Hodder is just trying to kill me right now. Kane Hodder was just like attacking me out of nowhere. Suck it, Jason. Laura's having a bad time. Oh, someone's getting attacked. Okay, so we need to go right and back up. Jason got hurt, and so he said, you know what, I'm gonna kill this kid instead. Just not a very nice thing for someone to do. Jason really needs to learn how to be nice. Oh, whoa, okay. This is the worst. And what? Can we jump? Thank you. Ah, boy. Okay. No, I don't want to take anything. So if we go in here, Jason is in here. And she's immediately dead. Goodbye, Laura. Okay, so we just have George, Mark, and Debbie. We're gonna just take Debbie. Okay, someone's being attacked. Okay, it's still over there. Ooh, Debbie's slow. Debbie Downer. No. Do we go this way? Let's try. Let's see what happens here. Dude, how are you supposed, like, can you jump? How are you supposed to get away from Jason when he's running at you like that? Or swimming. Which, I don't know, man. You can't. Oh, okay, cool. So it's just an automatic. You just get injured. Thank you. That sounds like that kind of reminds me of Metal Slug. The POWs in Metal Slug. Jason, there you are. Ugh. I'm trying to dodge. It ain't working very well. All right. So now we're this person. Ooh, really slow too. George, who looks like Debbie with the purple pants. I think it's this way, right? Yeah. You know what? I gotta say, I'm learning the game though. I know more about how to play this game than I ever have in my entire life. So that's awesome. Thank you for teaching me how to play this game. I'd actually like to try and beat this game at some point in my life. Because it's not actually that bad. It's not the best in the world, but at the same time, you can get to where you need to go, right? You can learn how to beat this game properly. Yeah. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. I'll say that. Okay, so only 2 of those kids are still alive. Jason is just murdering them. Okay, Jason? Jason? There we go. Oh, crap. Oh, man, I was trying to learn how to dodge. I wonder... Here, let's get in Mark. Okay, so if I in here, I can't play around, so I would have to like save state it and play around with how to learn how to dodge. Okay, and Mark has the key and the flame, which sounds like a great name for a band or an album. The key and the flame. What happens if I go into the woods? Ooh, I saw, dang it. I saw a, like a honey, oh my gosh. There we go. So we're still in the woods. And a knife. Okay, we got a knife. I'm trying to get out of the woods, man. Okay, so we just go over to the lake water. And then we need to go that way. Thank you. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna save state it just so that I can learn how to play this at some point. All right, Jason, where are you? Big old fat stupid jerk. He's probably at the door. No? What? There we go. Ah, no, Mark. You were our last hope. You and your friends are dead. Game over. Ooh, Castle Shadowgate. Yeah, it does. You know what? I gotta say that is a totally valid and fun game. I had fun playing that. After about 5 minutes of kind of learning how the game works, dude, that is totally a great game. We will beat this game on stream. That is a really interesting game. All right, give me another game. Give me another game. What else can we play? Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Let's keep it old school retro. So Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, 64, original PlayStation. Let's keep it in that realm. Dreamcast, perhaps. Speed Devils didn't work for whatever reason. That's weird. I'll figure that out tomorrow. Hey, Tennessee Drive. I totally appreciate you hanging out, Zeffler. Thank you so much, man. I hope you have an awesome and blessed Friday. A good Friday, a great Friday, as I like to say. Frogs and Flies? What is that? What system is that from? Abbadox. Ooh, Abbadox. Okay. Good night, man. Abbadox. We could do Abbadox for sure. Yeah. Okay. We'll do Frogs and Flies on Atari. So this is the thing. I was born in 85. I'm 39. I grew up on the NES. I've been playing games since 1988. I am aware of and have played Atari, but I did not own one growing up. And when you play old Atari 2600, 5200, even 800 XL games, they're so convolutedly hard to understand because the graphics are so minimalistic. Most of them are pretty rough, and I don't enjoy them as much. I know people older than me, like that were growing up in the 70s and had Ataris as their first system, they'll play them. Yes, they are very basic and very simple. You've seen the majority of the entire game within the one single screen in most cases. I do like some of those games like Burger Time and Pitfall. Those games, they stand the test of time for sure. But man, some of them I'm just like, I don't know if I can play this. What's up, Wolfman? Yeah, Pitfall's good. All right. Let's do some shooter. Okay, so I've been talking a little bit earlier about getting back into games design, and I was thinking about it today, and I was like, I know the name of my game. I don't want to say it yet, but I got the name of my game, and I'm going, okay, this is gonna be awesome. Ah. Fishing Derby, Combat, and Journey. Oh, Journey, okay. That's an interesting one. Yeah, there's a lot of, most of the people that I grew up with were always an older generation than me. Like a lot of my all of my friends were older than me. So I have an appreciation for the classics. But man, it's just hard for me to get into. They're a lot harder for me. I could do NES all day. This is my wheelhouse. But when you go so simplistic in the graphics where you've seen the majority of the game in the single screenshot, you know exactly what is going on, or you can't because it's so simplistic, it's really hard to actually understand. That's where it gets rough for me. Yeah, I know, right? I gotta pull that one out later on. I gotta remember. We just need to mention Atari, and then we will actually have people start chatting. Oh man, I'm blanking on the guy's name now. A few years ago, this is like 10 years ago at least. Atari had a big like library booth at E3, and they had this like big couch, and I sat down in the couch, and they had like a big, old 70s looking TV and an Atari system with a couple controllers that you could sit down and play. And so I sat down and I'm playing this old Atari game. I don't remember what it was, just something basic like Pitfall or something like that. And I'm sitting down, and this big older guy comes down and sits next to me and says, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, good. How are you doing?" We're just chit-chatting for a while. And like we're passing the controller back and forth after every death. And after like 15, 20 minutes or something, he's like, I got to go, go to a meeting. I'll see you later. It was really nice chatting with you. And I was like, hey, yeah, cool. And my friend comes over to me afterwards, and he's like, do you know who that was? And I was like, no. And he's like, that's Nolan Bushnell, the like co-creator, owner of Atari. And I was like, oh, whoa, that's really cool. I sat down and played games with him. Like, that's rad. Yeah, he was really, really nice and super cool. Like, one of those dudes that did not need to announce who he was. And I was like, that's the type of person I want to be. You know, I want to be that type of person that just goes, yeah, I'm just going to chill out and hang out. I don't need to announce who I am. People don't need to know who I am. I just want to be a man of the people. And I was like, dude, that is like one of my favorite gaming memories of all time. I'll always remember that. Yeah, this is like Scramble. Scramble is a great one. Scramble is a really interesting game. There we go. Now I'm getting the hang of it. It's been a while. Ooh, Spelunky. I'm assuming you mean the NES version of Spelunky, not the actual good version of Spelunky, right? Oh no, I was doing so good too. I was doing so good too. Yeah, okay. We'll do a little Spelunky NES version. I gotta say, I actually really love Spelunky HD. And Spelunky 2. I actually never got really far into Spelunky 2. When the original, not NES, but like the 2013 Spelunky came out, I didn't really get it at first. I was like, I don't like this because, and I talked about it on the podcast today, I never like repeating stuff. Like even when we were playing, Metroid Prime last night and I was on the boss fight, that first encounter of the boss, I died and I got actually frustrated. I got mad because I was like, man, now I got to do the whole thing over again. That's like one of my pet peeves in video games is when I have to redo something over again. And it's really like, I'm pretty meticulous about stuff. So I take my time and I really focus in, and it's fairly energy draining to be like, okay, I gotta get this, I gotta get that. I've explored, you know, making sure that I didn't miss anything. I kill every enemy, and having to redo that all over again, I actually kind of got bummed out and angry. Dang it. And I was like, man. And, shoot, now I forgot what I was gonna say about that. Oh, so Spelunky, it's run-based, right? And I just was not in the mood for run-based games at that time in my life. So I didn't get it. It wasn't until 2021, I sat down when we moved here and I was just like going through games and I was like, dude, what do I want to play? And people were talking about Spelunky 2. And so I went, you know, maybe I should play the same. Oh, dude, yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. Maybe I should play Spelunky again and give it the old college try. Like, really try it out. Because I really didn't give it the good old college try when I first learned about it. So I sat down and started playing it, and I made it Game of the Month. And I was like, oh, dude, this is actually really, really fun. So, yeah, I got really into Spelunky for a while, but I never finished it. Because it's actually pretty difficult. And, yeah, I am of the mindset of I cannot speedrun games. There's just no way. I can't do it. Speedrunning sounds like the absolute worst thing in the world to me. Because when I beat a game, I move on. I don't like redoing it. I don't find any joy in experiencing the same experience multiple times. So I can never become a speedrunner. But, you know, the people that do like that, more power to them. That's totally cool. If they love it, you know, who else is going to do it, right? They're the people who are doing that and making that stuff happen and making it a thing. And I appreciate the people who know a game so well that they've played it hundreds of times. They know every nook and cranny. I wish I was like that. I just can't be. That's just not the type of person I am. Dang it, I'm not doing good on this. But, you know, I also have played a million more games than most speedrunners will ever play in their life. Most speedrunners will play 4 or 5 games in their entire lifespan. And I've played I've played thousands, and I've beaten thousands. So it's a, you know, everyone's different, and I like that. But yeah, I'm the exact same way. I just can't beat something and then immediately go back to it and go, okay, let's experience this same thing over again. And that's why I was really not into Spelunky originally. But then I learned it was like, oh, the procedural generation really does fix a lot of those issues. I feel like this level has gone on way longer than it should. I think we're gonna get him. Yeah. Halo. Oh man. I was thinking about like maybe we should do a Halo night or something. I think that would be really fun. Oh no! Dang it! Do I think Oblivion, are you talking about the remaster? Absolutely, I do. There is enough evidence for it. There is enough evidence for Oblivion Remaster to be 100% real. Okay, I know we said we'll play Spelunky, but we gotta beat that boss. We gotta beat that boss. I can do it. I believe in myself. I believe in you, Peter. You are the band. Yeah, we'll get this. Just that one boss. I can do it. There we go. Well, it's on the developer's website. That's why it's real, because it's on the developer's website and it has a release date. They just haven't announced it yet. It's on Monday, which, man, I cannot wait. Oh, that too, yes, because everything is being remade. Really? Favorite game of all time? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, I get it. I 100% get it. And I actually, again, I really am mad at myself that I didn't have the time to edit and upload the podcast today. But I talked about it on the podcast, so when that drops tomorrow, go listen to it because you'll hear my full thoughts on it. But a summarized version of what's on the podcast for tomorrow is it's their job to control the narrative of the release of the game, and that's fine. I don't like the fact that leakers think it's okay for them to leak some company's information. Like, that's not okay. Because it's been leaked. It's been leaked that it's coming out Monday from their official developer studio website. Like, all that information is there, screenshots are there, everything is pretty much set in stone. But the reason why I really dislike it is because, again, it's this company's product, and it is not okay for someone to say, oh, you know, you're doing something and it's on your servers and we're just gonna, you know, leak that information. There's people's jobs are at stake. They're gonna get fired. They're not gonna get, you know, rehired by other companies because someone made some issue. I'm gonna pause what I'm saying so that I can control this fight and finish it. There we go. Boom. Boss fight 1 done. Anyways, so as I was saying, one of the big issues with that is that I really think that it's really uncool for leakers to just say, nope, I'm gonna just take all your hard work and throw it out. Like, that's super not cool. But the fact that it's out, they need to change the narrative. They need to control it and say, all right, the game is real. It's coming out this day, and here's some screenshots. They need to control it, because right now, the leakers have all the power. Yeah, and you know, that's okay. It's okay to want, as a consumer of the product, to not. It's not your job to care about the people being hired. It's not your job. Who cares, right? But you also want to be humanistic about it, and you want to go, okay, cool, you know, let's try and understand the other side of it. There are human beings who are possibly in jeopardy of losing their job because some scumbag gaming journalist from some crappy website, you know, decides to go leaking the information that is under NDA. All of that information is under NDA, unless... I mean, it is under NDA, but someone might make a mistake, and that happens, and then it's kind of fair game at that point. But when it is this industry insider, this game tester, went to the games media and said, hey, by the way, I'm under NDA, but this game is coming out, and it's going to cost this much, and it's for this system that doesn't exist, and blah, blah, blah. That's a scumbag move. And that's where I'll put my foot down and say, no, that is not cool. Yes, that's fair game. Exactly. And at this point, it's such a wide known quote unquote secret that Bethesda just needs to come out and own it. Just say, yeah, you know, the information's kind of out there now, but Oblivion Remastered is coming out on Monday. Here's all the information about it. And just push it out. And I said this on the podcast. It's Monday that it's coming out on Monday. But that doesn't help anyone right now, right? That's such a bad time to release video games. Like this holdover from New Game Tuesday, New Media Tuesday. If you don't know what New Media Tuesday is, it's a holdover from, you know, the past. Video stores, music stores, you know, Best Buy, Blockbuster, and things like that. New media would release on Tuesday because they had to get the shipping out. And so the shipping would take X amount of days, but now all that stuff is either digital or we have way faster shipping routes and things like that than we did in the 80s and 90s. So all of that stuff doesn't need to happen anymore, and it's a holdover. Release games on Friday. Period. What could we be playing? All of us together could be playing Oblivion tomorrow night, and we would all love it, right? It would be awesome. Instead, they're waiting until Monday. It's a digital product. No one, like, it's shadow drop, so it's all digital. The game is done. Why are we waiting until Monday when all adults have no time to play games on Monday, right? So yeah, that's kind of one of those things where I'm just like, dude, come on, let's get with the times, let's get with the program. That's a smaller version of what I talk about on the podcast for tomorrow. Okay, someone give me a game. Oh, we were talking about Spelunky, right? Let's play some Spelunky. I could just type it in. Yeah. Cat's out the bag, just drop it. Let us all play it now instead of waiting until Monday. And I don't want to give too much away, but no one listens to the podcast anyways. So there's probably more people watching this stream than has listened to the podcast. So this is what I'll say about it is that Monday, when it gets released, no one's going to buy it. No one's going to have time. By the time Friday comes out, when we all have time to actually play Oblivion Remastered next Friday, how many other games are going to overshadow it? Because it's old news. Monday might as well be Friday and Monday might as well be several years apart in news cycles, right? No one's going to even remember Oblivion came out on Monday next Friday when everyone will actually have time to play it. So all these other games are going to come out. All these other games are going to be played. And there's so much, like, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but there's a margin of this could totally get swept under the rug because it was released on Monday and games are coming out every day. And yeah, you might not believe that. And I don't believe it's going to happen. I'm not saying this is absolutely going to happen. I'm saying it's a possibility, because what happens if some other game gets dropped, like a Helldivers 2 or an Among Us style game that just came out of nowhere and the entire gaming world latches onto that? It's a possibility. That's all I'm saying. It is a big game, but it's also a remaster of not Skyrim. And believe me, I love Skyrim. I thought it was awesome. I love the VR version, but Oblivion is my jam. I love Oblivion. I'm super excited and stoked for it over Skyrim, but most people don't think like us. If it's not Skyrim, they don't care. If it's not, I mean, Oblivion is the older version of Skyrim. You know how many people don't care about Oblivion because it's not Skyrim? So that's again, just it's all so big. It's all so vague. And again, the gaming industry is so big and so, I was going to say scattershot. That's not the word I wanted. It's so unpredictable that, you just can't really predict anything at this point. Spelunky or Spelunker. Spelunker. That's right. Spelunker is the NES version. Spelunky is the other one. I agree. I love the vibrant greens. That is what stood out in my brain. Skyrim brings you cold. There we go. All right. That's the one bad thing about a lot of these games is you tripped over a small rock. Oh, you fell from 3 inches above the ground. You died. You can't go over a molehill. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, we see, like that. Like, I should not die from that. Come on now. Dude, dodgeball. Okay. One of my favorite games of all time on the Game Boy Advance is Super Dodgeball. Super Dodgeball is so good on the Game Boy Advance. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try not to fall from 3 inches and die and lose our life. There we go. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying. Good music, though. Really enjoyable, good music. Now, do I want to try and get over there? Okay. No! Let's try it. Yep. We made it happen. Did I die from the blast? Come on. We gotta wait through this whole music. Oh, boo. I accidentally closed out of it. Here, let's jump back into it. Yeah. And so many older games had that issue. You know, Donkey Kong had that issue. Oh, you fell from, you know, a 2-inch height. Sucks to be you. You just died and lost all your lives. But there's something so... heartwarming is not the word, but innocent about these games in this era, right? They're just so wonderfully made. Even if there are, there's a lot of like little things that are not great. There we go. Haha. Boink. Oh no! I was on it and then I just kind of fell off of it a little bit. Holy crap, jeez. I need to save state if we're gonna be playing this for a while, because I don't want to keep going over this game over screen and waiting like 10 seconds to launch into the game. The fact that he was able to get the license and make Spelunky, which is this game but in just a modern fashion, and it turned out the way it did, incredible. Incredible. Man. Music back in the day of this type of, you know, kind of game loop music. Really interesting too. Aw, man. Too quick, too quick. There we go. Don't die, don't die, don't die. We're doing okay. You know what? We're not even gonna mess around with it. No, Ryan. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. That game over screen. Oh man, my nose. Oh no, not the ghost. That ghost sucks. Okay. Let's do the save state here. Once we get into the game. Just so that we don't have to worry about it. There. Now, I really don't need to be doing this, but that's the game, right? Like, you want to get all the collected items. You want to get the money. Even though it ticks down your time. That was one of the things, even with Spelunky, I was kind of bummed about. And that's why I was talking about how I get so frustrated with like boss fights and repeating stuff in games, is because this is what I do. I take my time. I love exploring every little part of a video game and getting every item and, you know, doing the best that I can with it. But this game, you get penalized by that. You're on a timer. So if you're not utilizing your time extremely well, you're going to be really penalized for grabbing all these items. Man, my nose is killing me. Nope. Nope. We're not even... That doesn't count. Mulligan. Mulligan. Man. My brain might just be melting at this point if I keep making dumb mistakes like that. I'm having fun though, dude. It's been a while since we've done a retro game night. And this is kind of the hard thing. As a streamer, I'm just being completely honest. I'm a variety streamer. I like playing games of all shapes and sizes and genres. So I play a bunch of different stuff. I also like beating games and completing them. So when I have a whole thing of other games that people want to see, I try to get to those, but I also want to play through games because this is how I play video games. I don't play video games right now on my off time at all. If I'm not on camera, I'm not playing games. My life is way too hectic and busy and crazy for that. So I want to get through games. I want to play through stuff, and there's so much to play that it kind of sucks when I have a bunch of viewers that really latch onto something, but then when I change genres or games or anything like that, they just bounce and leave and never come back. And I've had that happen, and that's just part of, I'm trying to reconcile that. That's just part of streaming. That's the culture, is some people just don't want to see you play other games. They just want to see that game and that game only. And it's like, oh, that's a bummer. So there's going to be people who only want to see me play Metroid. And when I'm done playing Metroid Prime 2, 3, and 4, they're never going to want to watch the channel again. It's like, aw, it's weird. I don't understand that very much. Like, when I watch a streamer, I watch them because it's them, their personality. I like them, who they are, and I value their opinion on all games, even if I don't agree with some of those opinions, you know? But that's just me. And I have to try and not take it personally. I think that's the hardest part for me, is not taking some of that stuff personally. Like, they don't hate you. They just don't want to watch you ever again. They just don't want to see your face. They just kind of hope you just fade away and not exist anymore. They wish death upon you. But again, that's just something, me learning how streaming works, because I've done streaming for so long. But in such short bursts over the course of, you know, the last decade or so. It hasn't been until last year where I was like, oh, I'm actually a streamer. I actually stream for money. Not just a job. And that's where it's like, oh, okay, there's stuff to this. Now, I was gonna say, do I want to get that key? No! Do I want to get that key, or should I just go down? Should we just continue exploring? Like, what happens if I go and grab the end of it? Oh, that's probably the door for the key, right? Oh, shoot. Why is the ghost already coming towards me? That shouldn't happen, right? Maybe it's because I went too far down? Yeah. Yeah, I hate that ghost. Ugh. Ugh. Well, that's one way to get rid of the ghost. Poison's Blob. Sorry, I didn't see that until just now. Poison's Blob is great. Did you ever play the Wii version? When they remade Boy and His Blob on the Wii, and there's a dedicated hug button? Like, talk about a great game. Let's see. No! We were right there. Oh, dude, it's good. It's different. It's definitely different because it is a much more fully realized version of A Boy and His Blob. Adventures in Blobonia. Man, I remember renting that game. So we definitely had a Blockbuster, but back in the time frame that I was in, wait, did I get that stuff? I didn't, right? Did I just bounce right back out? Hold on. I wasn't even paying attention, sorry. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. My mind just wiped. Wow. So we had I think it was Hollywood Video. I was really young. I'm talking like 3-4 years old. My parents would, let me rent video games, NES video games. I had an NES in 1988, and I was like 3-4 years old, and my parents would allow me to rent a NES video game. And so I was renting a lot of stuff that, appealed to me, like Snoopy's Sports Spectacular and a lot of very younger kid games, Muppets from Space video game and things like that. But I also tried renting games that just by the cover art alone, because I was so young, I didn't know. And my parents weren't really caring either. They didn't pay attention to what I was renting as long as it looked harmless and not like something that I was gonna, have nightmares over or whatever. And so, oh shoot, that was close. Yeah! Oh, whoa, there is much more to this. Okay. This is a bigger level than I thought it was gonna be. I'm not happy about the ghost coming. Again, that makes it so much more difficult, knowing that you don't have the time to find all this stuff. But I do remember renting A Boy and His Blob because of the cover art, the box art. And my parents didn't have, anything against it because it looked cute and, whatever. But trying to play that game as a kid, like 4 years old, instantly impossible. Like literally an impossible game for a 4-year-old to play. Like, it's even something like this. There's no way as a 4-year-old I could play this. I'm having trouble and I'm 39. Honestly, though, if I was actually paying attention and not streaming it, and kind of talking and having conversations, I'd do much better. I'd do, like, way better if I was actually focused. But I'm having fun. Like, this is a really interesting, smaller, compact version of Spelunky. You see the DNA of this in Spelunky 100%, right? It's all there. It's just better in every way, shape, and form. I don't know. Spelunky music is... I don't know if it's got anything on this, though. This is my jam. This music is gonna be in my brain as I go to sleep. I'm not looking forward to that. Wow, I don't even know how I survived that jump of 3 feet. How did I jump 3 feet and survive? Wait for it. Close. Close. Yes. Hey, it's okay. I'm giving myself mini heart attacks by every single jump, too. I like to play loose and fast. Oh, crap. Again, not fair. Not fair that we have to deal with this ghost showing up. Like, what do you do at this point? Ah, man. We were doing really good, and I somehow just died by climbing the rope and then falling off. Okay. I think that's gonna do it for tonight. I think I've hit my limit of Spelunker. Sorry, I take that back, Spelunker. Oh man. Oh, you bombed the ghost. Okay, that makes much more sense. Okay. Well, that was super fun. I had way more fun, and I did not think that we were gonna have a really cool, chill evening tonight. I really liked it. I hope everyone had a good time. I thought I was gonna play like a little bit of Super Mario Kart and then go into Mario Kart 64 and then be done. But having the night take us to Super Mario Kart, Speed Devils that didn't work, Friday the 13th, Spelunky, Abbadox, like that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. So tomorrow is Good Friday / Great Friday. And I'm not sure what I've got planned. I'm gonna try and stream. I probably will, like 99% probably will, but I need to get some sleep, man. I'm just exhausted. So I'll probably try and take a nap a little bit tomorrow afternoon. Maybe do a Good Friday service. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet if we're gonna go to the Good Friday service or Easter Sunday service, but I will be back probably tomorrow, and maybe we'll play some Metroid Prime 2. I didn't get to kind of mess around. I don't know if I should play the Wii version or the original GameCube version of Metroid Prime 2. So if you do have a suggestion, drop it in the Discord. In Discord, in the just main hangout zone, the general chat area, I have a poll going up, or it's up right there. And it basically just says, which version of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes should I play? The original GameCube or the Wii Trilogy version? So let me know if you have any suggestions. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great night and an awesome Friday. Great Friday tomorrow. Till then, I'll see you later. Joe's right. Thank you so much for hanging out, buddy. I hope you have a good one and take care. God bless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Most likely. All right. Bye, guys.